Well, it's mid-January, right in the winter season, and the snow has fallen this week over Britain, as you can see. This is probably going to be the only episode all season with white snow all over every shot. Well, the train's just in. Let's go then.
This train is for Liverpool Central. The next station is Green Lane.
She didn't seem disinterested. She said she's a little Friday. Yeah, she said they'd have to change from there. She struggled to find something wrong. Yeah, she struggled to get swapped out.
Well, I'm getting on this train, just one stop, and getting off at Sandhills in northern Liverpool. Well, you might have noticed a lot of red shirts, red coats and red hats in the crowd ahead of us. And there's a reason for that, a specific one, but equally one that's self-explanatory. They're off to Anfield to see Liverpool take on Norwich on a cold day on the 19th of January 2013. Well, they're all getting the soccer bus, which I did a few weeks ago, if you remember. Despite the weather and the slippery conditions, though, I'm walking it today. Still 45 minutes till kick-off, so we're in good time. And Liverpool FC, such a great club, such a famous club, one of the biggest, most supported clubs in the world. And their fan base is so big that, as you heard just back there, even extends beyond human beings. And I'm sure he'll be barking away at the top of the Cop End in an hour's time. Meanwhile, though, we continue to plod away along through the snow. Temperature's probably below freezing, despite it being mid-afternoon. The time then is 2:15. We're going to walk to Anfield, show you shots of all the fans heading to their game, and walk around the whole of the stadium, show you the Cop from across the road, then head into the park just before kick-off. Here you'll never walk alone. And then we're going to spend the first half walking back to Sandhills, get the train home over half-time, early into the second half, and then get home for the results with Gillette, as we usually do. And there are 6 Premier League kick-offs this afternoon. I'll talk more in a bit about them. Well, just under 40 minutes until kick-off now, and we should be there in less than 15. Less than a mile from the ground now, and everything is on schedule at the moment. You have to account for longer journey times when the weather's as cold as this, and that's exactly what we've done, and we're not behind schedule for a change, which is great. It's really slippery at this point, so I'm just going to take it carefully. Just another 100 yards or so towards the crowd ahead, a right turn, a few hundred more yards up a hill, and then we're there near enough. That's the way I usually go when I've been to Liverpool home games in the past. With my brother, who is a Liverpool fan, if I've not mentioned that prior to this. I think I did do about a month ago, didn't I? There's half an hour to go until kick-off, and as soon as we turn this corner, you'll see a bit of the Kop in the distance. So we're almost at Anfield now.
Welcome to Anfield for all sports attending the game. This is your warning that we are 20 minutes away from the start of the game. Please make your way to the stadium.
Well, here we are outside Anfield with the Kop in the background. There's 20 minutes till kick-off, and we're just going to have a quick look around and then head to the park. So let's giddy on up.
Yeah, 25th.
All hail Shanks.
Welcome to Anfield to all supporters attending today's game. This is to inform that we are 15 minutes away from the start of the game. Please make your way to the stadium to avoid unnecessary meeting. Thank you. This is to inform you that we are now just 10 minutes away from the start of the game. Please make your way into the stadium to avoid unnecessary queues at kick-off. Thank you.
And there's the Premier League jingle loud and proud from Anfield here on Merseyside. The players are coming out to a rapturous applause from the home and away fans. Norwich have made the long trip across from east to west. The Canaries are here at Anfield for what should be an interesting Premier League game. And since that terrible defeat to Aston Villa a month ago, Liverpool have beaten Fulham and Sunderland 4-0 and 3-0 in the last two home games. Just one of 6 Premier League games in progress right now. And here's You'll Never Walk Alone. absolutely beautiful. I say it every time I hear that song, it really does bring a tear to my eye. I just absolutely love it to bits. And there you are. But back to business. It's almost 3 o'clock and there's a Premier League match to be completed first. But hopefully the Reds can get 3 points this afternoon. So Saturday, 3 o'clock and another Premier League afternoon begins. There's 6 3 o'clock kickoffs right now. Not only this one here between Liverpool and Norwich, but 5 others. And this is one of 3 in the northwest, by the way. We've got Wigan versus Sunderland and Man City at home to Fulham, both taking place within 50 miles of here. There is Newcastle Reading in the northeast, Swansea Stoke in South Wales, and West Ham versus QPR, a London derby in the capital. And I'm particularly fascinated to see how that pans out. Should be a good game there. I would listen to that if I could, but Liverpool Norwich will more than do me. So we've just kicked off. In fact, I think Liverpool kicked off in the time that I've been talking just now. A few minutes in now. Let's get going. We're less than 5 minutes into these 3 o'clock kickoffs, and I haven't got a goal for you. I think I've got 2 in the Premier League already. Liverpool had a chance there. Way down. Yeah. You might have just heard the reactions there. Liverpool chance. The champions are ahead, and David Silva gets Man City an early lead against Fulham in what should be a straightforward home win for them. And we think Wigan might be ahead against Sunderland. There is a goal at the DW. We're not sure if Wigan have scored it. There's been a goal in that game though. Well, Norwich just had a chance. Thankfully, for most of the fans over there, it didn't come to anything. As we leave Stanley Park, and I'm planning to visit here again in the spring, so we'll see you in the near future. Wigan have taken the lead, I can confirm, and Sunderland's David Vaughan has put it through his own net, I'm hearing. So 2 goals already. We're now about 7 minutes in. 10 minutes gone, the game is in progress just over there. We're going to turn right though and walk down this road. Liverpool in possession. It's going to be at least halfway through the first half before we get out of hearing range of the ground. So hopefully there'll be a goal soon. Well, as we reach the end of this residential road, we're about to show you the last shot of the day from us of Anfield. In fact, even from here you can't see that much. Just a bit of the top end of the Kop over there. We're going to go this way for the time being now as we begin our journey home. A lot of boarded up houses in this area of Liverpool. Definitely one of the poorest neighbourhoods, despite such a football club being just a few hundred yards away. It's 15 minutes gone and we've got some more goal news for you. West Ham United 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1. The bottom side winning away in the East End. As we go left here, if I'm not mistaken, yes. Well, quite an amusing moment there on BBC Radio Merseyside with their commentators. Russell Martin, the Canaries midfielder, I think he is anyway, was accidentally called Russell Grant, who, for anyone that doesn't know, is that overweight astronomer who tells you all your horoscope news. Well, sadly, Liverpool nor Norwich could score in the first 20 minutes of this match. And by the way, Sunderland have equalised at Wigan, and the goal scorer, I don't know who the goal scorer is, but it is 1-1 at the DW Stadium. Still West Ham 0, QPR 1, and Man City 1, Fulham 0. The other 3 are 0-0 to my understanding. And staying with the DW Stadium, Sunderland have actually now taken the lead there. And the ever clinical Stephen Fletcher adds to his tally of goals for the Black Cats. So Sunderland quickly turn it around at Wigan. Did you hear that? Liverpool have just taken the lead. We're a good kilometre away from the ground. So with a 2.5 second, 3 second sound delay, I switched on the camera just after the goal had gone in on the radio, but just in time to hear the applause. The Reds are ahead and Jordan Henderson gets the goal. Liverpool 1-0 up. Game on at Anfield. Well, I appreciate that you might have not quite heard the audio from the goal might have been just about inaudible for you. It certainly wasn't for me though, take my word for it. Liverpool did score and I did hear it. But the sound off this phone camera is not quite as sharp as my ears, obviously. So the deadlock has been broken in 4 out of 6 games so far, with 6 goals in 6 matches. That's not too bad. I say typically, if a weekend the Premier League fixtures can get to 20 goals, 2 goals a game on average, or upwards of that, then it's been a sufficient weekend in terms of the number of goals. And I'd never like to see nil-nils. There haven't been too many this season, to be fair. I mean, it's well known that the Premier League is so appealing because the number of goals per season has been increasing in recent years on average, as the quality of attacking players improves and the quality of defending declines. You know, it's going to be one of the highest scoring Premier League seasons ever as it stands at the moment. I know we're just over halfway through, but we're on course for it. And there you go again. Liverpool are 2-0 up. Just like with the first goal. I switched on the camera just after it had actually gone in, but there was just enough time for me to hear the goal after switching on the record button. We're now like 3/4 of a mile from Anfield and it sounded even more distant. Again though, I heard it. Well, Liverpool certainly have giant opportunities now to secure the 3 points. Well, in the Premier League era at least, Liverpool have never failed to win when they've gone 2-0 up. They've never blown a 2-0 lead and not won in the league at least. There was one game in the 90s where Newcastle came from 3-0 down to 3-0, but Liverpool won it in the last minute. It's effectively over for Norwich, if that's anything to go by, but records are there to be broken. And also, again, you might have not heard it from your ears via this camera, but I could still hear the cheers. We're now a distant 3/4 of a mile away from the ground, but I could still hear the fans celebrating. You might have not done, but take my word for it. It was the second Liverpool goal and it is 2-0. We're going this way. Chance! Norwich nearly got one, but they still could. And keeping with the theme of goals, there's been one at St James's Park. Newcastle, a crucial home game with fellow relegation threatened Reading, and it's the home side that have got it, Johan Caballo. So Newcastle 1, Reading 0, and that'll come as a massive relief to the Geordies up there. But Liverpool are in cruise control here, just a mile behind me at Anfield, where the Reds are 2 goals up, and we are now 35 minutes in to this first half. So all smiles for the red half of Liverpool. Well, we have another goal for you in the Premier League. And after such a great start for Wigan, it's all gone to pieces for the Latics. And it's Stephen Fletcher with a second goal and a third for Sunderland, who lead 3-1 now at the DW Stadium. And I've just heard that Chummy Rovers are winning away at Brentford in League One. So it's going all well for Merseyside at the moment. Fast approaching half-time at Anfield, and Liverpool are comfortable and enjoying their afternoon. And despite the season I've had so far, they're on course for not only a 3rd consecutive home win in the league, but another comfortable one. That's 9 goals scored, none conceded in their last 2.5 home Premiership games. As we enter stoppage time. Okay, it's half time and Liverpool are 2-0 up. So everything running to plan at Anfield. In the other games, unless anything's changed in the last few minutes, then Newcastle 1, Reading 0, West Ham 0, QPR 1, Wigan 1, Sunderland 3, and Man City 1, Fulham 0, and it's goalless between Swansea and Stoke. So we'll be travelling home during the second half. Well, as you can see, the train is now coming in. We're at Sandhills and we're getting the train home during the second half. See you in a bit. Well, I've taken the side entrance out of Liverpool Central. There's still 10 minutes until our next train is due to depart. Just for a quick update at the beginning of the second half. The only new goal that we know about so far comes at the Liberty Stadium, and Swansea have taken the lead through Ben Turner against Stoke. So every game has now had a goal, which is brilliant. And Liverpool still 2-0 up in the game we're listening to. And on a local issue, Brentford have equalised, so it's 1-1 between them and Tranmere. Okay, the train's going in a few minutes, so I better get ready to go down. Okay.
West Brom in upper mid-table.
Well, it's the Brummy Derby at West Bromwich Albion, as you can see there. The Baggies take on the Villains. West Brom versus Aston Villa. I won't be watching it, but I'll be listening to some of it on the radio. In fact, I'll be watching the first half and then listening to the second half on the radio, as I have to go out and pick up some food. So I might just bring you a report from this game at the end of it, and tell you what happened earlier on what was another dramatic afternoon in the Premier League. Every afternoon is. They always come out to that big 90s darts hit. And there's your Premier League jingle from the Hawthorns, the highest ground in the land. Already featured about a month ago in this series, as the players go through the handshakes. West Brom at the right end of the table in the top half. They've got no relegation fears, although early ambitions of European places have slipped. The Villains, though, are fighting for their lives. Wigan have lost today. Newcastle lost. QPR just drew. This is a chance for Villa to get some ground on them. So it's an important day for both teams, especially Villa, though. But above all, local pride is at stake.
Well, what an afternoon it's going to be in the Barclays Premier League. And we're here at Stamford Bridge with a great view of the pitch in the stadium, down with the Chelsea fans. In fact, here come the players out the tunnel now. It's a big London derby this afternoon between Chelsea and Arsenal and the Barclays Premier League on Sunday the 20th of January 2013. I'm not at the ground, but I'm just projecting this camera onto a TV screen to show you this. So, as the Chelsea fans do their things and sing their songs, let me just quickly summarise yesterday's results. Firstly, Liverpool beat Norwich 5-0 in the end in the game I featured, biggest win of the season for the Reds. Swansea edged out Stoke 3-1. Wigan lost 3-2 at home to Sunderland. Man City had a comfortable 2-0 win against Fulham. Reading, though, sprung a surprise with their first away win of the season at Newcastle, coming from a goal down to win 2-1 overall. And West Ham fought back for a 1-1 draw against QPR. In the evening match, the Brummy Derby saw West Brom and Villa share a 4-goal thriller. It finished 2-2. Aston Villa blew a 2-0 half-time lead in that match. So a great weekend so far. I'm going to show you the goals from this match when they go in, not if, because I'm certain that it will not finish 0-0. So, let's get to the action. Let's hopefully show you some great goals.
Oscar, but it was Merseyside who intervened. It's all nominally out wide, but tends to still come in from that left-hand position. Walcott slipped it through, great ball, Giroud! He's disgusted with himself because it was a wonderful opportunity set up, great crossfield ball, and as Walcott came through, timed the pass with perfection. You can see him well onside, and at this point you'd think hit the target, but it hasn't happened for him. A let off for Chelsea. They penetrated that Chelsea defence very easily. Arsenal, they don't score. Well, a dead-eye finish from Giroud then, and all of Chelsea's old doubts sort of come back to haunt them, but he misses the target, and Chelsea off the hook. Big let off for Chelsea, Rob. Easily opened up. Wonderful play from Arsenal to do that. And let the crowd go quiet. And now Mata, he's onside here, Mata! And that is just the start that Chelsea did need. Mata, the man to provide it inside 6 minutes. Seconds after nearly going one down, Arsenal have a double problem. He's furious that the game wasn't stopped for Coquelin. But take nothing away from what's happened to Mata, because he's made his way forward. The diagonal ball came his way. He took a great control and took a great... And Diaby just dwelt on that, allowing Ramirez to pounce. Torres, Mata. Oh, he's found Ramirez brilliantly! He's taken down! It has to be! It is a penalty! And what action against Chesney! There has to be a card for the goalkeeper. the goalkeeper. Most people in the ground here were screaming at the referee to produce.
Chesney now has to face up to Frank Lampard, the master penalty taker in the Chelsea ranks. Lampard scores! Did you ever expect anything else with him? A man who always puts himself forward for those kicks and rarely misses.
Cool as you like. It's as if he's sending Rafa Benitez messages every time he pulls a blue shirt. It's a rare battle between two of England's quickest and finest players, wasn't it?
Torres has gone down injured as Coquelin gets back to his feet, slipped through by Cazorla, he's onside, Walcott! Game on! And now the doubts will start again for Chelsea, who let a 2-goal lead slip in their last home game, and see their lead here slashed in half.
Game on is right, Theo Walcott.
That should be enough for Rafa Benitez's side to see this job through.
Convincing at times, Chelsea, but the second half showed all the anxiety and tension that still exists here. But it looks like it's 3 good points now. Furious Arsene Wenger. His team showed a real spirited side to them in the second half, and he'll have some consolation with that.
Home comfort at last for Chelsea. Rafa Benitez's side winning only their 3rd game at Stamford Bridge since he took charge, and in the first half at least, it was a day when they clicked. Frank Lampard scored the penalty that in the end proved decisive after Juan Mata had opened the scoring for them in the first 6 minutes. And despite Arsenal's threatened comeback with a goal from Theo Walcott,